Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Listen to other great tech podcasts at www.techpodcasts.com.
You're listening to Australia's #1 tech podcast. Every week, join hosts Brad and Jason here on the Techwebcast. Download our iPhone app, follow us on Twitter at Techwebcast, and visit us online at techwebcast.info. Here are your hosts, Brad and Jason.
And welcome to the Tech Webcast. This is episode number 160 with your hosts, Brad and Steve. And our guests today are going to be Bruce from Frugaltech and Tim from the OSGUI Tech Show.
Hey, Steve. How are you, mate?
Doing pretty good. It's been a wild week, I think, for me.
It's been a great week, and I'll be getting my iPhone for the next couple of days. Can't wait for that. And hopefully this time next week I'll have it in my hands, and we'll be doing some serious stuff with it. Steve, now you got something in the mail from the Cafe Press.
Yes, I did, and got one of these nifty little guys, the official Tech Webcast mug, and nice. Which is right here. Hopefully you guys can see. I know the wording's a little hard to see. And of course, you can get it on obviously different T-shirts and everything. Now this one's, I wanted to get a little bit bigger. This is actually 18 ounce. They have a 12 ounce normal sized coffee mug. For you guys that are want to stay up all night, get the big version.
Yep.
Great stuff. That's something on the Cafe Press, I think .com.
Yeah, Cafe Press. Yep. CafePress.com, and just do a search for Tech Webcast, and I'll bring up all the stuff you can buy for that. That logo that's on the products. What else has been happening? Jason's away for next week. He won't be back for another week or so, another 2 weeks. So there may or may not be a video version. I'm not sure, but we'll have to talk to Steve about that. But if you want to hear this episode again, we are going to this is going to be replayed on Aussie Tech Heads each Thursday night. So make sure you check out that.
Cool.
Also, we got Tim. Hey, Tim.
G'day.
How are you, mate?
Been better, but I'm all right.
All right. And also we got Bruce Naylor. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, how are you?
I'm going pretty well. So let's jump in and have a chat with Tim first, and then we'll have a chat with Bruce. Now, Tim, what's been going down on your end, mate?
I've just been spending the week, it's been pretty much the worst week of my entire existence on the internet, and I've just been spending it trying to defend myself and set the story straight, and it's a really horrible situation that some people have convinced, a large number of people about, basically lies about me. Right. And I'm trying to set the record straight.
Well, set it now, mate. Set the record straight now. Go ahead. What do you want to say to him?
To set the record straight, in succinct points, I'll say, 1, I'm not a liar.
Right.
But 2, I have said stupid things which I am sorry for. 3, I'm very sensitive when it comes to equality and gay rights issues.
Yep.
And 4, I'm just can't stand having hundreds of people attacking me and lying about me and trying to destroy my business. And, sending hate spam to all my fans and trying to turn them all against me and turning friends against me and things like that. And I'm at breaking point and pretty much close to, giving up on the whole thing.
Well, I want to say this to you now, Tim. Never give up, mate. I would not. If I was in your shoes, mate, I would just ignore the whole lot in my books. But that's just me. But has it been pretty bad for you? Has it?
Yeah, it's been terrible. I haven't been able to sleep. Just getting constant messages. I had to close down, disable comments and ratings on all my videos to try to stop the trolls from, harassing me and my users and stuff. And they've just destroyed the business model for me, and I can't make viral videos. They don't even register in searches properly because they get flagged falsely by the trolls so many times and things like that. They're just doing everything they can, and they're just lying through their teeth constantly and taking everything out of context and manipulating their own fake evidence to try to make themselves look good. like by covering up the certain words that made them, say something bad, and they'll go, "I didn't say anything bad," and then they've covered up one or two words in the sentence, and that made it change the whole meaning. So they're doing shit like that to try to make themselves look good and try to make me look like a liar, and it's really fucked up. Well, I mean, it's really screwed up.
Right. Now, Steve, any questions for Tim?
I did watch several of Tim's videos, and there was a few related to that. I'm not really gonna make specific videos toward any particular person or show or anything, but working in the internet broadcast scene, I've seen a lot of this happen. In fact, it happened during the last show. We had somebody mentioned somehow their show name got mentioned, and people started mentioning a lot of things in there that weren't really true, or I don't know how they came up with it. Maybe they thought it was the truth and didn't know. And the guy actually came in the show and said, "No, this is what's really happening." And I even been on some Google Hangouts with some well-known YouTubers, and they kind of put me down. I don't know why. I just came on there to relax and have a good time, and then I guess they felt threatened by me. And so it's not just the viewer to the person making the show. It could be between broadcasters or even broadcasters treating viewers badly too.
Yeah, we all have good moods and bad moods and stuff as well. So
right. Oh, Tim, I just want to say, man, I hope it gets better for you, mate, and just don't let him get to you, and just keep doing what you're doing, and
thanks.
So Bruce, any questions for Tim about that situation, or you just want to pass on that, mate?
I'm totally out of the loop about this.
All right.
I have
That's all right. Don't worry about
what's
it.
going on.
Okay, that's cool. All right, let's talk about what you do, Bruce. Bruce, now you'll come back from a break, mate. Give us a rundown on what you do over the internet.
Well, I am in the network security business. That's how I make my living. And a couple years ago, we started making some YouTube videos, and that led to doing a streaming show called Frugaltech Live. And we've done several hundred episodes of the show, and we've got it on iTunes and various podcast networks as well. And we've had some success with it, but we needed a break. So back in June, we said, you know what, let's take the summer off. Let's kind of recharge, take care of some business matters, and come back in the fall. And we did a couple test run shows. And, I tell you, it was kind of interesting. We rearranged our office/studio. And I really want to nail it a little bit better. I guess I'm kind of a perfectionist to a degree. So I reached out to Kat Armstrong. Probably a lot of people know she was the community manager for Chris Perillo. And I think she's doing some work for Robert Scoble.
Yep.
And so she's going to give us a hand, give us some pointers, and kind of help more with the marketing of the show a little bit. Because I'm so busy actually running my company during the day that I don't have the time necessarily to devote to all this stuff. So Kat's going to give us a hand with some of that, I think, and I'm really looking forward to working with her.
Good stuff. So did she approach you, or did you ask her?
Actually, I reached out to Kat. She's letting people know that she's looking to do some freelance work, and I reached out to her about a week ago, and we came upon an agreement, and so that's really about all I can really discuss right now.
All right, mate. All right. Well, what's been going on with your show? Any coming up shows? What's coming up on your show?
Well, actually, we're gonna. It's trying to find the right time for me, with my schedule when to do it.
Yep.
And I was thinking Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time would be a good time for me, but it really wasn't. So now we're, and you got to pick a time and say, okay, this is when I'm going to do it, and be consistent. Consistency is very important. So now, tentatively, we're looking to start doing things on Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just think that's a good time because to get it recorded, and if people come by and want to participate, that's great. We're going to record the half-hour show and then get it up to iTunes and other places, and that's the game plan right now.
Good stuff, mate. Any questions, Steve?
I got some questions, but they're kind of related to some recent news stories in the business world. And one of them was Hewlett-Packard, and supposedly they were going to, a couple of weeks ago, they're going to get rid of their PC division, either sell it off or whatever, not do it anymore. And then recently it was announced that they're gonna still bring it. They're gonna bring it back. They're not gonna get rid of it. And supposedly they fired the CEO. They have a new one right now. So what do you think about all this, Bruce? Do you know about it or?
Yeah, no, I'm
okay.
familiar with the story. They fired Leo Apotheker, and Leo is a software guy, particularly enterprise software. He used to run SAP for a brief period of time. And Leo came in with the idea that they were going to become another IBM. That was the idea, that we're going to eject the hardware, or at least the consumer hardware side of things at HP, and become more of a services-oriented company. Unfortunately, it was premature. The whole thing was very, very premature and poorly executed. Ultimately, HP stock price fell by, 50%? Some ridiculous figure.
Yeah.
And then, of course, to throw in the whole fiasco with WebOS, which, back in last March.
Yeah.
HP was making this was going to be the iPad killer, the iOS killer was WebOS, and we're going to do all these wonderful things for it, only to come back here just, a month or so ago and have a whole fire sale on the HP touchpads, right? Blew them out.
Yeah, like $99.
$99.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then said, and by the way, I think we're going to get out of the consumer PC business too. Pretty much cost the man his job at that point. He was toast. And which HP has been kind of adrift for a while now, really. So they brought on a new CEO, the gal that used to run eBay. Whitman is her name. And she had a failed bid to run for governor of California, if I recall, Meg Whitman. Whether or not that's a good decision, my personal opinion is another poor choice for a CEO. But that being said, on the PC business, on the personal product side of things, what HP never really took into account when they thought of, and they were just verbalizing, hey, we're thinking about this. It was the accountants who come back and said, we're geared as a company to negotiate huge deals from hardware suppliers and all of our supply chain and distribution based on doing billions of dollars a year worth of consumer PCs. And so we get all these fantastic things going on, and to physically separate that from Hewlett-Packard would be at least $1.5 billion one-time dollar charge to earnings. That's a huge number for them. They just got done spending several billion to buy another software company. It was enough for HP to say, let's regroup, let's calm the market, let's calm our stockholders and investors in the company. Let's get everybody's calm. Obviously made a bad decision by mentioning we were going to eject the PC business. We never said we would. We were just thinking about it. And, we cost investors a lot of money on this. So maybe the wise thing to do is to go ahead and see if we can't turn the consumer side of things around. And that was probably a wise policy, a wise move to do that at this point.
Well, didn't HP do pretty well with their desktop consumer side, before they did all this?
No.
It didn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I thought
no.
it did.
The problem with consumer PCs, especially HP is big time into those, $400 to $600 machines. They have lots of quality problems. These are very low margin devices. The amount of money that HP makes on average on a PC is about 1/10 of what Apple will make on the sale of an Apple PC. 1/10. So they got to sell 10 times as many computers to make as much money as Apple does. So it's very low margin. Factor in that on their lower end machines, they have a lot of quality control issues. They're spending a lot of money in what we call RMAs, which is returns, reimbursing repair centers, shipping out replacement parts, dealing with a lot of quality issues, especially in their laptop business. They're not really making a whole lot of money. They do a lot of revenue, billions and billions of dollars in revenue, but they're not making any real money off of it. It's not a particularly good business model. So the question is, how do you turn that around?
Yeah, that's true.
How do you turn around a company that's selling in the tens of millions of personal computers a year? How do you make that into a profitable business, right? And if you look at their competition in the consumer space, you have Dell, you have Gateway, Acer, I think, is a competitor. There's a number of companies, and they're all basically selling more or less the same product. Okay, it's the same user experience, pretty much. They're all running Windows, and they're all maybe slightly different in case design and color options, but all in all, they're all trying to sell about the same thing. And HP, unfortunately, has got a really bad reputation among a lot of people with quality control. So that's going to have to be job one, is to invest in delivering a better quality experience to the end user across the board and a better quality product, which I think would ultimately serve them well. They're going to have to work on that, the whole user experience, a lot more.
Good stuff, Bruce.
I agree.
Next question to you, Bruce. Do you like the new iPhone 4S?
Actually, I'm funny story about that. So I get a notice, an email from AT&T saying that I qualify for the upgrade.
Get it.
Fantastic. So I log into my AT&T account. It told me I qualified at full retail price.
Cool.
Oh, is
Not
it?
cool.
So you're paying the full price.
Oh, that was right. I can just go to the Apple store and buy one straight out.
That's what I'm doing.
Here's the thing. I don't qualify for discount until March of next year. By that time, we're really deep into this cycle on the 4S and starting to look hot and heavy at the introduction of the iPhone 5. So it doesn't make a lot of sense in my book to go to a 2-year contract on a 4S when an iPhone 5 should be out or at least announced by that summer.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And what about you, Tim? What's your view on this topic, the iPhone 4S and the HP stuff?
Well, I mentioned recently in one of my videos that I sold my iPhone 3GS that I had for $225 cash to cash converters. And with the money, I bought 2 new Android phones. Or one was secondhand, which I didn't really pay for. The other one was a Telstra Samsung Galaxy, one of the mini ones. I forgot what it's called now, actually.
Okay.
It was only $99 on a prepaid. But the screen's too small. I didn't like it. So then my mate had a old Android that's a Sony Ericsson Xperia, the original one. So I got that, and then I flashed it, rooted the ROM to 2.33, I think, version of Android. And yeah, it works better. But what do I think of Apple? I've just decided that after using it for a good maybe 6 months or a year, that it's definitely not worth it, because I can't stand the software that you have to use to interact with your phone on your PC, iTunes. It's not very good. I prefer to use VLC or something else to play my music and organize my music. So, basically that's why I don't want to have the Apple software on my computer unless I actually am running OS X, and then it's okay.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's your opinion, mate. Good on you.
Yeah.
Steve, what else has been going on? We've seen a story about the iPhone 4S battery. What's been going on with that?
Oh, yeah.
There's an update for it or something and to fix that.
Yeah, supposedly it's with the 4S. Now, I have the original iPhone, or not the original, but iPhone 4. I put iOS 5 on it, and I did notice the other day, I just recharged it that day in the morning, and by nighttime it was at like 44%, and usually it never does that. So I looked at notifications. There's actually a weather app, and I think it was stocks running in the background, so I took that off because I figured it was updating through the wireless internet. And once I did that, the power went back to normal. So it could be possible that people are having some of these things running in the background, running the battery down. It could be a legitimate problem too as well.
All right. Oh, I hope that they fix that soon. But I'll be getting my iPhone 4S soon, and I can't wait to use Siri. It's gonna be pretty cool. And now, Bruce, tell us more about your webcast show each week.
Well, I cover the unglamorous world of business technology.
Okay. Yeah, you don't cover sort of technology for the normal person. It's all to do with business. Is that correct?
At times we do, because there is a crossover, right? Like the iPhone and the iPad is a crossover device. Yep. They're used. Android phones are used by business as well. Matter of fact, I mean, it's really going to be interesting watching the collapse. And I'm going to make this prediction that within a year, Research in Motion will probably be out of business. I'm going to repeat that. I believe within a year, Research in Motion, RIM, the makers of BlackBerry, will probably be either sold to another company, but they will not be the business they are today.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope you're right.
They really dropped the ball, but at any rate, so we do cover some consumer technology because there is some crossover there. I tend to follow companies, what Microsoft is doing in the business world and what their business going on with their company. I look at Apple, of course. I look at some Linux distros, software like accounting software, project management. We're doing a lot of stuff with Google Apps. My company personally is a Google Apps reseller partner. We're a Microsoft reseller partner of their Office 365 solution. So I kind of look at that stuff, and we let people know what's going on in this particular world.
Oh, I just wanted to add something about Bruce's show. Since he runs an online, I'm guessing it's an online business, but he wants to tie his show into his business, obviously, to let people know that he works online, and that's, I think, one of the other reasons. But he does a lot of just other than just business. But I kind of actually find it kind of interesting myself. But
we have about 350 videos roughly on YouTube. Cool. And I was cranking them out really hot and heavy for a long time. I've kind of slowed down a little bit, but something I want to get back into. No, look, everybody does. People that stream and do podcasts, such as yourself or Brad or other folks, we all have our various reasons why we do it. And we all have a metric in mind that says, this is what I would consider to be successful, or at least you should, right? And my reason originally, pure and simple, was to draw traffic to my website, no more, no less, through the YouTube videos. It was only after we had done a number of videos on YouTube and got to develop some friendships with people. They said, maybe we should try this streaming thing. But I thought, I don't want to do a commercial for my business. That's not That's not cool. That's not what people want to see. Well, what if we said, okay, we know there's a lot of people that would like to have their own business, or they work at a small business, or they manage one that's interested in technology. What if we try to have this niche and say, let's have a place where like-minded people can come and share what they know with one another? Okay, try to build a community on this. Now, this has proven to be somewhat of a challenge for me, because I've noticed, especially on at least Justin TV, a lot of the same people that watch tech shows were coming into my show, but I was doing something a lot different. I wasn't talking about iPhones as much, and wasn't talking about the latest video cards as much. I was talking about stuff people go, well, I don't use that, or I don't need that. So we weren't marketing business technology portion of it appropriately, right? Even though we had a lot of views. And I mean, the last time I looked at our Justin.tv page, we're close to about 3 million total views. So that's good. That's a big number. But the number of people who would be there live when we recorded the show, a lot of them were not really business tech people. And so that's what we've got to improve on to get our message out and find people that's interested in the world of business technology, or people are trying to make their living with their computers rather than a hobby. That's what we're trying. Those people are the ones we're trying to reach out to.
Hey, there you go, Tim.
And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Pardon?
I think Tim's trying.
No,
he runs a online business kind of. Okay.
Well, but it has worked. I mean, my original goal was accomplished. Our web traffic has definitely increased, but still, one of my objectives was to build a community of people who make their living off of computers, whether you're supporting another company or whether you've got your own company, and share what's good and what's bad out there. I mean, there's a lot of products out there that were sold a bill of goods. They don't live up to the hype. And, a small business guy can't afford to make those kind of mistakes, those poor investments in a technology that doesn't work as advertised. So it's not only... So that's what we want to do. I really want to work on building that community of people, if that makes sense.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That was a great way to put that, Bruce. Now, Bruce, where can they find you on the internet? I'll put a link to your YouTube channel. You can all find links to that off there. Is that correct?
Yeah. It's Frugaltech on YouTube.
Yep.
And you can search for me on iTunes, Frugaltech-Live.
Cool.
So it's Frugaltech-Live. We're there. Of course, frugalbrothers.com, that's our company website. We're on Blip TV and Frugaltech on Blip TV. So we're there in quite a number of different places, actually. And of course, my podcast, or the audio portion, is available on Tech Podcast Network and Blueberry.
Good stuff
as well.
Good stuff. And you're also on Twitter, is that correct too, Bruce?
I am. I'm on Twitter, Frugaltech on Twitter.
Cool. All right, make sure you follow him. Check out his great videos and the podcast each week. How many times are you live? You're live 24/7, is that correct, on Justin TV?
Well, I am. I actually have a webcam in here that just runs 24/7.
Cool.
And this is a working office, and if I get an opportunity to chat with people when they drop by, great. If not, don't be offended. It's not personal. It's just I'm trying to take care of clients.
Yep, definitely. All right, and Tim, where can they find you?
No, thanks. I don't want to find you anymore.
Tim, where can
I've had enough of stalkers.
So you don't
I'm
want
not giving out any address, thanks.
So you don't want any
Oh,
more
okay.
YouTube? You don't want any more YouTube?
I don't know what to call myself, but don't call me Tim from OSGUI.
Okay, just check out Tim's video on his YouTube channel. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel. Go click that and subscribe to him. And thanks, Tim, for being on.
Before I close the channel down.
Yeah, don't close it down. Steve, where can they find you, mate?
Of course, here live on Justin.tv, what we're doing right now, and of course,
Yep.
On Twitter, it's chatterbox_live.
Wicked. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, Brad Eisen at Techwebcast and Techluster. More Techluster next week. Can't wait with Bob and Steve. Also have my iPhone 4S by then, and the Techwebcast mug. Go buy them.
Yes.
I just seen that in the video. You saw that in the video version.
Yeah.
There will be a video version of this one. Is that correct, Steve?
What's that?
You are recording a video version.
Yeah,
of
right
this?
now we're downloading right onto the hard drive, so it should be up on YouTube fairly soon and Blip TV.
Right. All right.
Me too.
I'll let Glenn know about that. And also, I just want to give a quick shout out to Josh. His Twitter name is Josh AU. Apparently, he's been loving the Tech Webcast, and appreciate that, mate. And a few other people too. Stay tuned for more next week. Thanks to Bruce for coming on.
Thank you.
And make sure you go check out his show and subscribe to his YouTube channel and follow him on Twitter and
Thanks, Bruce.
that sort of thing. And Tim, thanks Tim for being on, mate. Appreciate your time.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Oh, good. And Steve, appreciate for you doing this live stream, mate.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been fun.
Yes, it has. It was a good show today.
Great show.
Hi, Glenn from Aussie Tech Heads. Join Will, Eric and myself as we bring you the latest, most up-to-date, important tech news that affects you from Australia and the world. A weekly podcast available each Friday through iTunes. Watch the live stream recording of the show at live.thesecrethub.com each Thursday night, 7:30pm or GMT plus 10. Call in live via Skype or chat in our lounge. However you get us, just make sure you do. Listen or visit our website for more information, www.aussietechhead.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's longest-running tech news podcast.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out Tech Webcast on blip.tv and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes to make sure you always have the latest episode at your fingertips. Tech Webcast, Tech Talk for Geeks.